Well, just briefly, I know you've spoken about this, but not necessarily to us. So I just wanted to talk about the youngsters from the game against Southampton, and the huge positives I felt from some of those players who made their debuts, some of the scholars that made their debuts, and moments like that are for them and their families. I was receiving messages, from family members talking about the players and everything, and it's a great moment for those youngsters and good for the club. Really positive night for the club with those youngsters playing.
Yeah, I think so. I think you put the result aside. I think it was hugely positive. I think they all done really well. The guys that played, they played with some really experienced players. I think there was teams that just played complete youth teams through, but that's it's a different way to approach it. We didn't do that. We put our young guys in with some really experienced, strong players to help them out, to help us out with the squad at the minute, and also because they deserve the opportunity. I watched the Youth Cup game last week. And was really impressed with some of the stuff I saw. So, I think it's what we need at this football club. We need something that is sustainable and something that filters through all the way down. We talk about identity, and people talk about, MK Dons and the style of football they've always tried to play, etc. Maybe lost that over the last few years, and we're trying to bring that back, and we're trying to make sure that runs throughout the club. So the academy guys have really embraced that, which is great. And the players have really, really taken to it, and they're improving really quickly. And the fact they could come into a game like that and play really well, look really comfortable. I'm really pleased because it's a few of them haven't even been with us before. Lewis and Charlie, Jack, Josh, and Malachi spent a lot of pre-season with us, have done a lot of work, but Lewis and Charlie only had a day really. So they were picked off the back of their Youth Cup form and Youth Cup. The game they played last week, really impressed with them. So hopefully it's a sign and a statement to the other young players in there that if they continue to do that and play well, that we're always looking, we're always watching, and we're always trying to make sure that they feel connected to what we're doing at the first team level, because it's the whole club. I spoke about that. I want to improve not just our first. I want to improve the whole football club in what it does, how it performs, the culture it has, the environment that we work in, and we're doing that. It's taking time, of course, but I feel we're in a much better place than we were a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, and hopefully that's a sign of that. It's a sign of that, of where we're going and what we're doing, and hopefully there'll be many more opportunities for these young guys moving forward.
I think a great example of where the club is and where the team is, and you talked about 3 months ago, 6 months ago, was David Kasuman. He's a prime example of how he's developed and how a lot of those players may develop in the future, but how he's developed. I think under you, certainly, he's come on. He's somebody you played with, and now you've managed, and he's an example of how you can develop a player, try and iron out some of those creases as well and make them better throughout the side.
Yeah, I think Dave's an example of someone who wants to really learn and wants to improve. I think we could bang the door all day, but if someone doesn't really want to listen or learn, then we're not going to maximise their potential, and B, they probably won't be here very long, or they won't find themselves getting many opportunities. So David is someone who's come a very long way in a short period of time. A lot of credit goes to David, a lot of credit goes to Ryan Harley, who put a lot of work into him last year on a one-to-one basis, and we have missed that this year with the financial restraints and stuff. We haven't got Ryan or someone like that, so we're having to try and use our own time, and me and Luke don't have as much time, just the two of us, with Dean obviously focusing on the goalies as well. So we're trying to still make sure these guys get a lot of one-to-one stuff, and some of it will be with the older players, with the experienced pros, and some of it will be with us, but we have to make sure they are continuously improving and don't settle for anything. I think with David, he doesn't. It's really great. His mentality is brilliant. He wants to keep improving. He's really he doesn't get fazed by very much, which is great, which you need if you're going to go and play at the top level, which I really feel he's capable of, and he will do one day. But he's got a lot of learning to do between now and then, and he's got a lot of stuff to work on. So he knows that. He knows how I feel about him as a player and a person. And it's not just him, it's Matty Sorinola, who's improved hugely, responds to everything he gets given. And I was, some of these guys are what you come back for after a long break from COVID, you worry about what their mindset's going to be, where they're going to be mentally. but those two and John Freeman and people like that have just come back superbly. So motivated, so focused, and so resilient. So love the fact we are able to bring players into that environment, and I think we play a style of football that is going to really improve them and develop them. You know, they're not asked to just run and chase the ball and fight and tackle. They're asked to take the ball in really difficult areas, some difficult situations, to take risks, to be brave, and hopefully we're seeing the benefits of that now. And listen, they're going to make mistakes. They're young players. There's going to be inconsistency, but we have to stick with them and make sure we really believe in what we're doing, like they do with us. And I'm sure, you know, we've got 3 or 4 coming through now that will really help take this club to where we want to get it to eventually. And if not, they'll, you know, hopefully they'll earn the club a lot of money at some point.
I believe there's 1 or 2 injuries to talk about, 1 or 2 problems. What's the situation at the moment, Russell?
Yeah, I wish it was just 1 or 2.
Right.
So yeah,
okay,
we've got a few. We're obviously Danny and Regan being away as well makes it so much more difficult, which is frustrating with the injuries that we have, because, you know, 2 guys who would probably go there and start the game. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's frustrating. It's that's why, you know, the game Wednesday as well, we had to manage the squad and make sure everyone was okay for today. But we're not going to have everyone available. We're going to be going there with a really strong squad, but there's going to be a few youngsters in there as well, I think. So yeah, we're just having to monitor people and make sure we're getting them back, and when we do get them back, we don't lose them again straight away. And that's the balance we're trying to sort of find at the minute, that, you know, that perfect blend of making sure they're fit enough to perform, but fit enough to sustain performance, and not just come in for 1 game and then miss another 2. So yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely, but I think we're going to be without a fair few players this weekend.
There's no. These are all kind of smaller issues.
Yeah, there's no long-term worries on any of them, and the frustrating thing is there's only 1 soft tissue injury. The others are all knocks and joints and stuff like that, which is testament to the sports science and medical guys that yeah, we've managed to avoid a lot of soft tissue injuries, which, considering the amount of games we've had, is good news. So yeah, it's all just stuff that's caught up with people that have been playing with niggles and have been whacked or contact injuries. So hopefully none of them will be out for too long.
And finally, for me, just on Sunderland, obviously this away thing, the lack of the away win continues, and it's something that you'll want to put to bed. What better place to do it than Sunderland?
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone would prefer to go there with, and it was 30,000 people screaming and shouting at you. So yeah, it's this away thing you talk about. Yeah, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. It's really annoying because we've had some great performances away from home and just haven't been able to get over the line. So you're right. What better time than now? If not now, then when? So yeah, we're going there to, regardless of whatever team we've got, whatever injuries we've got, Danny Regan being away, we are going there to win a game of football. There's no doubt about it. I believe the players can go and do that. We're going to go there and try and turn it into our game and play the way we want to play. They're a very good team, a very good squad at this level, very good manager at this level. So we'll respect that, but we're going to go there and try and implement our own game plan. And we're going to go there with, you know, there's nothing to lose. No one outside of this building expects us to go there and get anything. So we'll go and have a go, and we'll go and attack it, and we'll see what we come away with.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it.
No problems.
I seem to remember it being like a mad 11 minutes at the stadium like last season, and then from what I can remember, it was a pretty well matched game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was one of our better performances actually. Yeah, it was really frustrating. They scored. We had a player off the pitch changing his boots, which really angered me and frustrated me at the time. That we allowed that to happen, and then yeah, I thought we were pretty good after that, from what I can remember. So yeah, it was an interesting day. It was an interesting game. I think it's going to be a completely different game now, 2 completely different teams for what they were then, and different styles of play, if you like, than both teams what they had then. So yeah, it's going to be different. I'm really looking forward to it. I think some of the last few teams that we've played away from home in particular have set up in a certain way against us, that if there was fans in the stadium would make it more difficult to set up like that. I think if you're the home team and you're setting up to bank up and stop the other team scoring, I don't think that's accepted for very long by the home fans. So I think it's helped teams away from home at the moment. So I think this is going to be completely different to that. They're not going to do that. They're going to come out and attack us because they've got some really, really strong players, good players. So it's going to be a different game to our last couple of away games for sure. And I'm looking forward to that challenge. And I think the players will be as well.
On the injury front, are you somewhat surprised that you haven't had more injuries this season, given the schedule and the lack of training?
Yeah, I think we're trying to manage, and that's what I said to you, it's frustrating because we're trying to manage people through the games. We haven't got our strongest 11 on the pitch enough times because we haven't been able to try and avoid injury. And it's one of them, you could end up playing them, and Richard Keogh at Oxford was a really good example of that. If we'd have played him then, we'd probably lost him at some point in the next 2 or 3 games. But we take him out, and it makes us weaker for a game. And you just have to accept that's where we're at the moment, and that's where every squad is at. They're having to try and adapt because of the hectic period, the schedule, the fixture schedule, just so many games. So, and then we don't help ourselves by going to 120 minutes in a cup game either. So, it's difficult. I think I'm surprised we haven't had more soft tissue injuries, if I'm honest, but I'm not, because of the amount of work the guys do in the gym, the amount of emphasis placed on them by the sports science and medical departments in terms of doing their injury prevention stuff, making sure they recover properly. We place a real big emphasis on recovery, mentally and physically, to make sure they get enough time ready to be ready for a game. So I'm pleased that we haven't picked up more already. And I'm hopeful that we can get everyone back. We've gone from having 100% availability to not 100% pretty quickly, and that's how it goes with the fixture schedule. So hopefully we'll have them all back soon and we get back to that quick.
Not just on the physical side, coming out of this busy schedule, is it going to be nice to have like a mental break as well from having a midweek game next week?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's going to be a mental break for the players. There's going to be a lot of work for the week. I think it's the mental pressure, or whatever you want to call it, of a game, of knowing there's a game a day away and you're not feeling great in your legs and you've just had 4 games on the bounce. That can be tough for sure. But I think I'm looking forward to breaking the games purely because we can get a lot of work in, and we haven't been able to do that because there's been so many games. So I'm excited by that. Which the players won't be excited to hear, but I'm excited the amount of work they can do in that week and the amount of work we can get in and detail. And whenever we've had the period of time to work on something, we always look better for it. So, I'm looking forward to that. But we've got a game to get through first. We've got a game to go and win, and that's the plan.